Shout out to Cody White, man, joining us after his NFL debut, man. Spend a little time with us today, man. We definitely appreciate you doing that. But with that being said, man, talk about what that first NFL game was like, man.
Yeah, it was exciting just knowing that all your hard work and everything you do in the off season, getting ready for the season, that you finally got an opportunity to go out there and play a little bit.
Now, I hope you understand me saying this. I see number 15 out there. I'm like, who the hell's 15? I mean, I hope this guy's good. But you had a couple really nice catches. Is this something we can expect? Because I was pumped. You got open. You caught the ball at critical points in the game. We were trying to come back.
Yeah, just kind of trying to come in there and make plays, being able to be reliable and a guy that can come in there and know that I'm going to catch the ball and be reliable, basically.
No, it was clutch, too. You had that nice little out route, the drag across the middle. Yeah, you helped us trying to at least come back in that game. I know it didn't turn out how we wanted to, but yeah, that was dope.
Yeah.
Now, talk about, man, what was it like being in the huddle with Ben, man? I mean, it's a future Hall of Famer, your first NFL game, I mean, at Heinz Field. What was that like for you, man? Were you nervous or anything?
I feel like I was more nervous when I first got here in practice in the huddle with him, but when I got into the game, it was just like practice. It wasn't anything new to me, just playing football.
No, I like that right there, man. The 70 always does a good job of finding ways to comfort you, man, make you feel good while you're out there as well, man.
For sure.
Hey, so, man, what's been the biggest difference, though, for you coming out of Michigan State compared to being in the NFL? What do you think has been, just the biggest challenge and stuff?
Yeah, I'd say just the speed of the game and being able to adapt to different situations. A lot of times it's really just the complicity of like concepts and defense that is thrown at you. So other than that, I feel like it's really hasn't been that big of a jump for me.
Okay.
So looking back at your Michigan State career, you had a really dope junior season. You ended up forgoing your senior season, wanting to go to the NFL draft, but then that was the point with like COVID and stuff, right? Obviously, if you're going to forgo your senior season, you're thinking you're going to get drafted. Can you take us through your decision to leave Michigan State and like what happened in that draft process where you end up going undrafted? Can you just take us through just your mindset? And I don't know, I would have expected you to get drafted if you're going to leave after your junior year, right?
Yeah. So just talking with my parents and talking with the people giving us the grades and everything such like that. So when I came out, I had a 3rd to 5th round grade. I felt like I was ready as a player. I felt like I was one of the top. I was one of the top guys coming out. So I decided to come out early. And obviously, as we know, it didn't really go my way. Ended up, this is my 4th team now. So just plugging and playing and just trying to show everybody that I'm able to play at this level.
Now, we know, I mean, and with that, right, at times it's tough to stay in the league. We get it. But you had opportunity last year. You were on the Steelers practice squad. Just talk about, man, what was that experience like for you and ultimately how it impacted you to where you're at right now?
Yeah, just coming in and being on the practice squad and showing them that I can make plays, being able to come in, learn the offense and just show that I'm capable at this level. And I feel like them bringing me in and keeping me throughout this time has been big for me and allowed me to settle in a little bit.
Can you take us through your NFL journey thus far? Because you mentioned it, you've been on 4 teams. It was the Chiefs, Broncos. I think I'm missing another team, but you've been bouncing either between them having you on the roster, cutting you, and these are within like weeks, right? Can you take us through after you get the bad news? What's your next days looking like? What are your conversations like, whether it's with your family, your friends, and whatnot? And what's your mindset?
So my first stop was with the Chiefs. And I was there during the off season and there up until camp. And then they ended up letting me go when COVID happened and they had to cut from 90 to 80. And then I went to the Giants. They had me there for 1 training camp practice and then they let me go after that day. And then I ended with the Broncos with camp, was there for 2 weeks. I felt like I played good, but they had already had their situation. So they let me go. And then the Steelers picked me up week 3. And ever since then, I've just been here and been making plays and being able to show that I'm capable.
I like
what's going through your mind at those points, though?
Honestly, it's just stay with it. Know that God has a plan, and that being able to knowing myself and knowing the hard work that I put in, knowing I'm capable to play at this level. So every time I got cut, you saw me the next day back home, right back on my high school field, practicing, working on my routes, working on my conditioning, making sure I'm staying in shape, and just making sure that I'm prepared for every opportunity that I get.
Hey, and with that being said, you brought up your high school, Phil. Now, coming out, man, you were Mr. Michigan football. I mean, like that's all world, right? We saw you ranked on every Rivals platform. Why'd you go to Michigan State? Talk to me about that, the recruitment process for you.
Yeah, so I wasn't that high of a recruit until my senior year. So my senior year, I was kind of a late bloomer. So that's when I kind of blew up, ended up winning Mr. Football. But growing up, I'd always been a Michigan State fan. And if they threw me an offer, I knew from the jump that I was going to go to Michigan State.
You wanted to go wait on it.
It was all over. Right when they threw the offer, it took about a week and I had committed.
Oh, man. I like it.
Yeah.
Now, and I also saw where your dad, right? He's been a big part of Michigan State as well. I'm talking about Sheldon White. And obviously he played in the NFL and worked as an executive in the NFL for a while as well. But just talk about how helpful has he been to you throughout these, past couple of years and stuff like that?
Yeah, so my dad being in the game for so long, he played in the league, he was an executive. So I've basically grown up in football and being able to have that impact that he's given to me, and just knowing that every journey is different, he always tells me, and that just stay with it and keep pushing because your opportunity is going to come. So honestly, that's been his motivation to me, and I just stuck with it and try to make sure that I'm prepared for every situation.
Now, we know as men, we're competitors, and we know the father-son relationship can get real competitive. You play wide receiver, he played DB. Have you ever told him, like, yo, Pops, I done pulled up the clips of you, man. You were nice and all, but Pops, I think I'll route you up. I mean, have y'all had that talk yet?
I tell everybody that. I don't think anybody can cover me. So him for sure.
Let's go, man.
So to be able to stick with the Steelers on the practice squad all last year, and then to, after this offseason, them to move you down to practice squad, now back up on the active roster, what do you think they saw in your game where you're able to stick with them?
I would say my consistency and being able to catch the football, make big plays, and just be that reliable guy. Like I said, being able to go in, I could play every position on the offense, being able to plug and play. And I feel like that's really what they saw throughout this offseason and throughout camp.
Yeah, because we had some receivers that came in undrafted and like a little bit just more name recognition, because I never heard of like Cody White, like Rico Bussey. Yeah. We had Isaiah McCoy. But then for you to be the guy that's stuck on the roster, like that's big props to you, dude. What do you like most about the Steelers compared to even some of the other rosters you were on?
That hurt a little bit because I was hurt during camp. So I wasn't really able to show as much as I really wanted to the first couple weeks. But then I came back and just was able to.
Because you were making plays in preseason.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you like most about the Steelers?
Just the organization. It's top-notch organization. Like I said earlier, I've been on a few other teams, and no other team is like the Pittsburgh Steelers. The family-oriented, you can go up to any coach, and they're 100% listening to you if it's football, non-football. It's just an organization you really want to be into.
Now, we did have a couple fan questions I wanted to get to before I get to my last question for you. But this first one, though, is from a guy named Manuel Molina. He says, Cody, how did it feel going from the practice squad to game day? Was it all of a sudden like you just got one phone call, or did you know ahead of time that you were going to get the nod on Sunday? So
what's crazy is I didn't know I was playing until before practice on Friday. So I had 2 days to know that I was playing, but I always prepare every week that I'm playing. So my preparation and everything, I knew what was going to come at me. So I wasn't really surprised by anything that the team was throwing at me, and just able to be prepared and go in and play. And it was exciting coming out the Steelers tunnel for the first game. That was pretty dope.
We got another fan question from Javier Moore. Who has the fastest 40 time in the wide receiver group?
So the fastest 40 time is probably Chase Claypool.
Okay.
But running on the football field, we're going to have to see.
Oh, are you saying you?
No, but we got some fast guys in the room for
sure. Where do you rank speed-wise? Are you top 3? Where are you at?
I don't want to put no numbers. I don't want to hurt. I want to keep everybody confidence in the receiver.
Hey, I can dig it. Man, we have my guy right here, Rod Dallas. Now, this is a funny one. I had the same question as well. He says, why do you wear 2 eye blacks, but only under your left eye?
So when I was in college, before we played Ohio State, one of my best friends from back home, he had passed away, and I used to put the little writing in under both my eye blacks for him. But that's a fine now in the NFL, so I still just wear the 2 eye blacks. but I don't put it. But I know what it's meant for.
Okay. Now that's respect right there, man. And sorry for your loss as well, man. That's big right there.
Yeah.
All right.
So he always with me when I'm on the field playing, and it's cool to have.
Nah, I respect that, man. And now we got 2 more, man, so that way, we're respectful of your time as well, man. But this is from DeLorean Waters. And DeLorean says, how did it feel grabbing your first catch?
It's just something you dream about since you was a kid, going in and being able to play in an NFL game, and not even playing the game, but be able to catch the ball in the game. I kind of caught it and just looked around like where I was, and it was just an amazing feeling.
Oh man, that is beautiful right there, man. I like it. I like it. So yeah, the final one that I have for you, baby. Talk about your welcome to the NFL moment.
My welcome to the NFL moment was probably going up against Joe Hayden, and my first route, I was so nervous to run it that I didn't even run a very good route. I was just looking at him the whole time, just watching, because he's one of the guys I look up to. But I was like, man, I just ran a route against Joe Hayden. It's like crazy to think about. You've been watching him for so long, and now all of a sudden you're running routes against him in practice. And with Minka, and it was just that was probably my welcome. Like, oh man, I'm here with him. Let's play now.
Let's go, man. No, I like that right there, man.
Dope.
Big time respect, man. But look, stay healthy, man. Keep doing your thing, man, and keep on that grind, baby. All right.
All right, appreciate it.
No, man,
Thanks,
appreciate you.
Peace.